All right. I think I can do this. Um, I have not thought back to this place for a while, so I'm really nervous. But I know I've needed to do this video for a while. Okay. I don't get nervous doing live, so this is just, I'm incredibly nervous right now. Okay. See if I can just get started. So, those of you that have been following my story, you know that I pretty recently got out of a marriage. I was married for 4 years. I was with the guy for 6 years total, and the longer I was in the marriage, things just got really, really bad. He became increasingly abusive, verbally and mentally. Things just really, really became a living hell and a living nightmare for me. And I've started speaking up about it as a way, like I post on it on Facebook quite a bit, as a way it helps me heal, I guess, because I kept these things hidden for years of what was going on, and I tried to pretend that everything was okay. And I know that a lot of women do that too, right? Like, you post things on Facebook and you pretend that, you know, everything is good, and it's not. Like, behind closed doors, it just gets really bad, you know. And you don't want people to know, like, you want to protect your husband. You don't want people to see what's really going on. You're embarrassed, you're ashamed that you're in this situation, or that you're allowing this to happen, or that your children are in this situation, or, you know, whatever. You have all types of feelings going on that make you want to pretend that things are okay, and so you put on this facade, right? And, I did that for years, and ever since I left my husband June 6th, to be exact, this summer. And I've been coming out speaking about it. I've been writing posts that I hope will help other women, maybe empower them, maybe let them know that there are a lot of other people in the same shoes that you've been in, like the same situation. And I just want to help. I want you to know, just, I don't know. Like I said, it's healing to me, but it also, I feel something within me that just makes me want to talk about it, because I know a lot of people don't, and I think they need to hear it, and I think they need the help, okay? Thank you, Natalie. So, let me get on with my story. I think I've got the jitters out. As I was making several posts, like one of the last posts I made about this topic in particular, I think it was the last one, was the one that's called on my timeline, Abuse is Abuse No Matter the Form It Takes. And I talked about the types of abuse I endured. You know, it's not always extremely physical. There's all different types. And I listed a lot of the things that I endured. And one of the girls that's been following me, she requested that I talk about, okay, what was the last straw for me? Like, how did I finally get out? Because how many women don't leave these situations? How many women stay in and they keep enduring these things, right? And all it comes down to is self-worth. Like, that's one of the biggest parts of it. And but that's like a whole other topic. But a lot of women don't leave, they stay. Okay, and I stayed for 4 years, because it wasn't long after I was married that things it was just like a complete 180. Like, I saw warning signs in him, and I ignored it, because again, it comes down to self-worth, right? And I still chose to marry him, so I take complete responsibility for, like, this life that I found myself in. But I didn't know, like, again, I didn't know things were going to turn out this way. I did see some warning signs. I ignored it. I stayed. I married him, right? But it's like, as soon as we got married, it was just like a complete 180. Okay, and things went downhill very rapidly. And he started getting more physically abusive, more verbally abusive, especially as years went by. And he also became addicted to drugs, which exacerbated his already anger problems that he had, right? And all types of other problems, like just unreal. So, okay, where was I going at with this? Why did I talk about this? I dealt with these things for 4 years. The hell. You guys cannot imagine the hell. Well, some women, yes. Many women, I'm sure you can't imagine. But the things he had put me through. And I was a teacher after I had my son in 2015, and I visited with my husband about it. Like, we decided, okay, it's cool. I can be a stay-at-home mom. I believe that's what's best for your kids, to be home with them. Especially me, I have very strong values and morals and beliefs, and I don't want that being changed by him running to daycare and having thoughts and ideas and things put into his head and garbage put into his body, okay? So I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. I quit teaching. So I put my trust in my husband, and I was relying on him for, okay, so we got married 2014. I resigned in 2016 was when it was. So I put my trust in him, and I was relying on him for income, okay? Yes, I started working online and bringing in some money online part-time from what I was doing. So as things were continuing to get worse throughout my marriage, I found I wanted to leave, right? I wanted to leave. But one of the things that kept me back, and again, I can understand how women would feel this way too if they have done the same thing. But I didn't have the money at the time because I put my trust, are you okay, honey? I put my trust in him financially. And so I didn't have any money. And so not only did I not have any money of my own, but he became addicted to drugs. So what happened when you're addicted to drugs? What do they do with their money? He spent it all on drugs. There were so many weeks he came home without an entire paycheck, okay? This happened a lot, okay? So not only did I feel like I couldn't leave because I didn't have the money, I mean, that was like one of the big things that kept me there. But then near the end, it was like, okay, well, he's not even bringing home money. So here I am, like, we're suffering anyways. Another thing that kept me there for so long is the children. Okay, how many women think, I can't break up our family. I don't want to, I don't want them to lose their dad. That's the kind of thought I was going through, is I don't want to take them from their dad, right? But again, as things got increasingly worse, it's just like, what are they seeing here? What are they hearing from this man? What are they witnessing? Like the fights, the way he became more abusive, the way he acted when he was at home, the environment was complete chaos. We would have peace at home, and he would get home from work, and it was just complete 180, total chaos. Okay, total chaos. And so I got to the point where, like, okay, they're not in a good environment anymore. Like, there's no point of even keeping them here, right? But I still had this idea in my mind that God did not want a broken family, right? He doesn't want a broken family. He doesn't. And I kept having this in my mind, like, I can't leave. I can't get a divorce. Like, that's not right. Things are going to get better. I just, he kept promising me, because I had actually left him a couple times throughout the marriage, and I always went back because of his empty promises, right? Things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. So that's one of the other things that kept me there, was the kids, okay? And then the money. And then, again, you keep believing their empty promises. Like, you have this dream, right? When you're with the man or you marry somebody, you have this dream of this life that you're going to have together. And I kept believing if he can change, he can change. It's going to get better. I just need to keep sticking it out. I need to keep working with him. I need to keep jumping through these hoops like he was demanding of me. He would place all of the blame on me for his behavior, guys, ladies. Like, all the blame on me, okay? If he didn't come home, it was my fault because when he got home, I would nag him. Or if he got mad at me, it was my fault because I was upset about something. Yeah, let me tell you something. I did get upset a lot. What, honey? Oh, cool. Because, oh gosh, okay. There's a lot of reasons why I was upset with him. It was just not a good environment. But it was always my fault. His behavior was my fault. He put all the blame on me. He didn't take any accountability for any of his actions, okay? So, ladies, if your men do that to you, they are full of garbage. Like, they have total control over their choices, and nothing you do should affect, like, how they, like, their behavior, okay? It shouldn't. So don't let them brainwash you, because I let him brainwash me into believing this is my fault. And I felt that for a long time. This is my fault. Okay, his behavior, his drug addictions, him not coming home, him hitting me, him pushing me. Okay, I started believing that it was my fault. Okay, but it's not. It is never your fault. No person ever deserves this. Okay? So I stayed for years, and I endured a literal hell. And so this video is mainly about the last straw. After everything he did, and I could go on for days of what he did that I endured, but after everything he did, what was the last straw? Why did I finally decide to get out? So it's a funny story, but it's a quite interesting story. So one day we went out on a date. This was just a couple days before I left. We were all trying to like help renew our marriage or whatever. We went on a date. We had bought a box of condoms, and you know, we just had our time together that night. Okay. A couple of days later, he had been working on a rig, so he would be gone for hours at a time. Well, he was always gone anyways, but whenever he was at work, he was gone like even longer. He was gone, and for some reason, there was something in my head that told me to check that box of condoms, because I knew how many had been used. I checked them, and like half the box was gone. Just like there should have been like 2 missing, and there was a lot missing. And he was at work this time, okay? And I remember just that sinking feeling in my gut. My heart just broke. I mean, after everything he did and he put me through, this just crushed me. And I broke down that night, as I had almost every single night for the past 2 years. I literally cried myself to sleep. I had maybe a couple hours of sleep at night just waiting for him to get home or whatever. But I broke down that night and I prayed, as I had several times. And I told God, I'm like, God, I don't know what to do. I said, if you want me to leave him, then you make the way. Because I have tried twice before, and I can't do it. I always end up back here. I said, I don't know if I should stay and try to, you know, make things work and hope they get better for our kids. Or I don't know if I should leave. I don't know what to do. I don't have a clue. So I said, so if you want me to leave, you make the way. I'm tired of this. I can't do this anymore. And I said, and also, this man has so many secrets from me. I said, I need all of his secrets to be revealed to me plain and clear, so that there is no doubt and he cannot bullshit his way through anymore. Because this man, he was a master liar. He became a master liar. I could question him about something, and I became a master detective because of that. I became one of those women that I freaking hated and loathed because I had to. Because I constantly had to find out what story he told me and if it was the truth or not. Where he really was, who he was really with, what he was really doing. Where was this money that he supposedly, you know, that he didn't bring home for our bills. Like, I had to become a master detective. So I said, God, all these secrets, I need to be exposed. So he can, without a doubt, he cannot lie his way out of it. So I went to sleep that night, and I didn't think anything else of that prayer. The next morning, he got home about 7 in the morning, and he had been working all night on the rig. I guess that's what he says, okay? That's what he said. He went in to take a bath, and I was like, I'm going to go look in his car for those condoms. And I did. and in his car were several condoms. And tell me, especially if you're a man watching this, why would a man keep condoms in his car? He's using them. My husband and I never took his car anywhere. Never. If we went anywhere together, it was my car, like the family car. Okay? I went into the house. I looked in his work jeans. There was a condom in his pocket. Then I went to his phone. And again, I learned how to figure out the codes on his phone, like all this, because I always had to check everything he said. I always had to fact check it because everything he said was a lie. And I did it not to catch him, but I did it to tell myself he's being truthful, Sarah. You can trust him. You can trust him. Well, I proved myself wrong every time. Like, no, you can't trust this man. I got on his phone and I saw text messages to a girl, and they were very, very flirty. And then I was kind of browsing through like his Google and all that, and he was on websites that were specifically meant for just hooking up. Okay, and it was local websites. Local. Oh man, I was crushed. Okay, I was crushed. Because like I said, after everything he had put me through, to me, him being with another woman was absolute betrayal. Hey, Donna Marie. Betrayal. Because I had been with this man and I had endured everything he put me through. Everything. And I stuck it out and I worked with him. I let him brainwash me and I tried to jump through all these hoops to make him happy and to keep him home and to keep him from like draining our money and all, I did all of this. I freaking took care of that man when he was sick. I fed him dinner. I served him his meals. I did all this for him. And him getting with some other women or cheating on me was ultimate betrayal. After the abuse, after the spending money, after the lies, after the sneaking, like everything. So I went, he was in the bathtub, and I went and I confronted him. And I was just crazy, all right? I was just crazy. I was imagining it all. Like, this girl he was texting to, just a friend. Like, they were just joking around. Like, whatever he was saying, like, I shouldn't take serious. And, oh, that site with the women, like, the cheating. Oh, he just stumbled upon that real quick, like, Oh, and the condoms. The condoms were from his friend. Like, when he was at work, some guy dropped one out, so he just picked it up for him to be nice, and then actually just stuck in his pocket. And the condoms were for us, like, if we ever went on, like, some spur-of-the-moment trip together. I was just like, lie, 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 lie. So, I don't know if I would have left him. Like, to me, that was one of the very last straws, again, after everything. And that it quickly escalated into a fight, which quickly escalated into him hitting me across the face, that was the first time he had ever done that. Trapping me against the wall, not letting me leave, screaming in my freaking my face and my ear, just right up here. I was just screaming at him to just leave the house, calm down, because he just got insane crazy. Finally, he walked out of the bathroom. I walked into the bedroom. I just kind of buried myself in a corner, and I grabbed my phone, and I tried, I was so shaky because I was scared. I couldn't freaking dial. I couldn't unlock it. Like, I just couldn't, I was trying to, I didn't know if I was going to call the cops. I didn't know if I was going to call my parents. Like, I didn't know. Like, I knew I just wanted to get out because I found out he had been cheating on me, and he had just hit me. He proceeded to come into the bedroom, same thing, scream, trap me against the wall, against the corner, like I couldn't leave. He was trying to take my phone, as he had several times before, anytime I tried to call the cops. So I just had to, throw the phone under the bed to where he couldn't get it and destroy it. And something to note is that I just got a new phone the day before. This is an important detail. I just got a new phone. He didn't know it, and I changed my phone number. Okay, that's an important detail. Eventually, he went out of the room, and I was just laying down with my children in the bed, hugging him and loving on him, trying to calm down the environment. And he texts, so, the night before, and I'm telling you all these details because I hope you realize that you're seeing how God is answering my prayer the night before. I asked God to show me all of his secrets. And so far, he's shown me the condoms. So far, he's exposing, again, he hit me, so across the face for the first time. Before, he had been grabbing my arm, he had left bruises, or he would give me little shoves, or he would trap me against the wall and not let me leave. You know, he would just destroy things in our house. He would scream in my ear. He would take my head and squeeze it as hard as he could and smash it against his head. He would raise his hand like he was going to hit me. He would put things above my head like he was going to murder me with it. He would threaten me with my life, things like that. That was the type of abuse. So this is the first time he had hit me like that. And so anyways, God is answering my prayer as we speak. And he showed me the condoms. He hit me. Now, after my husband had left the bedroom and I was laying in the bed with my kids, I got a text message on my new phone with my new number, and it was from my husband. He didn't know this was me. I had texted him the night before at work after I saw the box of condoms, trying to be kind of sneaky and get some information out of him. I texted him and I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" This is when he was at work the night before, and he said, "I'm just at work. Who is this?" And I said, "Oh, well, who do you think it is?" Like, I was kind of being flirty and I was hoping he would be like, "Oh, is this?" and then say some name, like give me some type of information. But then he didn't text me anymore after that. So then he texted me after I'm back again. I'm back in like present time. I'm in my bed. He went outside finally to calm down or whatever. And he texted me and he said, "So who is this?" This is my number. Now, I had the name of the girl he had been texting and flirting because I just saw his phone before our fight and before he hit me. So I told him, "Oh, this is so-and-so and so." And then he responded back, so I used her name. And I said, "I changed my number. This is my new number." And he responded back, "Oh, cool, huh? So what you doing?" And I said, "Oh, well, I'm sitting here thinking about you." And he's like, "Oh, well, that's really cool." And so we kind of were flirting back and forth, and I said something to him, like saying, "Are you going to come see me?" or something like that. I said something to him. I can't remember what it was, but he stopped texting me, and then he came into the bedroom and said, "Sarah, where's your phone at?" And I said, "I hid my phone, so you can't steal my phone or break my phone, because that's what you usually do, right?" And he said, "Yeah, okay." So he was kind of like worried that it might be my phone number still. He went back out and we were flirting around some more again. He was thinking he was flirting with this girl when it was really me. And then I said something he said that he was going to get some rest. And I said, "Oh, well, hurry up and rest up. That way we can hook up later." He stopped texting me. He came back in the bedroom, or I say me, but I should say her because he thinks it's some other girl. And he comes back in the bedroom. He's like, "Sarah, where's your phone?" I was like, "I don't have it. Like, I told you, I don't have my phone. I don't have it." Whatever. So I finally convinced him. He went back outside and said, "Okay, well, I don't need to rest to hook up." So I was like, "Oh, good. We'll hurry up and get here." So he stopped texting. He came into the bedroom. He started packing his clothes, saying that he just got called out to work. He has to go to work to do this. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" Because during our fight, he told me he had gotten fired from his job. Now all of a sudden, he's telling me he's getting called out. I have some smeared mascara under my eye that's bothering me. Okay, here in a little bit, baby. I'm almost done. Okay. Okay. Here in a So, anyways, I'm gonna grab him, but I'll be right back, guys. That way he'll leave me alone for a minute. Okay, here you go, baby. I'm gonna finish my video, okay? So, he packs his clothes, and then he leaves. And then that was it, okay? That right there was my last straw. As soon as he left, I knew he was gonna go cheat on me, for sure. Thought he was going to go cheat on me, right? He thought he was going to go sleep with another woman, but he didn't even know it wasn't her. It was me this whole time. I texted my dad. I texted my brother-in-law. I texted my sister. I said, "Nick just hit me." Oops. I said, "He just hit me. He's cheating on me. I want out of this house, and I want out now. Bring the trailer." So Dad said, okay, like, my dad had been on call, like, for months. He knew things were bad. He was scared something bad was going to happen to me. He was just ready. Like, he's been ready for this phone call. He got his trailer. My family came. Well, they started coming, right? But they lived, like, 30 miles away. At this time, I texted my friend and said, I need to leave my kids with you because I am trying to leave my husband and I'm scared he's going to come back while I'm leaving, and I don't want things to get ugly because it would have gotten very, very ugly. He wouldn't have let me leave. He would have raised a huge scene. It would have gotten bad, okay? It would have gotten very bad. So she was like, okay, I bring the kids over. So I was packing their things up really quick. I was going to take my kids to her place. And after I get in the car and I go to drive off, see, and I hadn't called the cops yet, even though he had hit me, even though things were violent and physical like that, okay? Even though I was scared he was going to come back. That still wasn't like, I still didn't even call the cops. And I know how many women do this. Like, they don't call the cops when they should call the cops. I got in the car, I go to drive off. I don't even get, but not even halfway down the block. And I can't drive because the tire on my vehicle had been messed up. Like, the air came completely out of my tire. He screwed with the tire so I couldn't drive. So all the air was out. And I just broke down for the first time that morning after everything. I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave this man so bad. And I was trying to leave and I couldn't leave because I didn't have the vehicle, and I was worried he was going to come back because he was going to go to see this girl and he was going to find out that it wasn't even her texting him, right? I was like, he's going to come back. He's going to get, I was scared. I wanted to get out before he got back. So I just broke down and I told my dad, I was like, he let the air out of my tire. I can't even go anywhere. Like, should I call the cops? He's like, yes, call the cops. So I finally called the cops after everything. So I did, and the cops showed up. And while the cops showed up, my dad, my sister, and my brother-in-law, they got there at around the same time, and they just started unloading everything from the house. As I was talking to the cops, as I was talking to the lady from the rape crisis, domestic violence, I don't know what it's called, center. And that was, I finally got out. So here's how God continued to answer my prayer. That whole situation between him and me texting and him thinking it was this girl. So he left. This allowed me, I told God to make the way out. If my husband did not leave to go be with that girl, I would not have been able to get out. If he had not let the air out of my tire, would not have called the cops, which means he would have came back. Because I called the cops and I was still messaging him back and forth, I was able to, he thought still he was talking to this girl. And so he said something along the lines of, I'm just going to be eating with my parents and then I'm going to meet up with you after we eat. So I was trying to find out where he was so I could tell the cops so they could go arrest him. He was always one step ahead though. Finally, somehow he got word that the cops were after him. So because I called the cops and he got word of it, he did not come back to the house. Then he eventually found out that it was me texting him, and he texted me and said, oh, hi, Sarah, this is you. Oh, I knew the whole time this was you. I was just blah, 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 complete bullshit. So because of that, he stayed in hiding this was a Friday. He stayed in hiding that entire weekend. Because of that, I was able to get everything that I needed out of that house. And if he had not been gone, then it wouldn't have happened. Because what happened, anytime I tried to leave him in the past, he would take things that I needed. He would take my essentials. He would take my clothing. He would take things and he would hide it or he would break it. So if he had not been in hiding those 2 days from the cops, I wouldn't be able to get my stuff. And I never would have been able to go back and finish because, again, he wouldn't let me. He would never willingly let me go back to the house and get anything and then willingly let me leave. Okay? So God made that night. He heard my prayer. He exposed this man's secrets to me, every single one of them, and he made the way out. He made that freaking path. So there was no way. Everything that happened was because of him. And I know that maybe some women out there don't believe in God. I know some people don't. But I'm here to tell you, if it wasn't for God, I would still be in that marriage. And either one of my kids would have ended up hurt from getting caught in the crossfire of one of his rages, or I would have gotten hurt or murdered. Because every time we got in a fight there near the end, I kept on thinking, this is going to be the time he takes my head and he bashes it against the wall. Or he's going to take this tool right next to me on this counter and freaking crush it in my skull. I was terrified for my life because his rage was out of control. If it was not for God, I would still be in that situation, or something would be somebody would have gotten really badly hurt. Whether it was me or my kids. So, the last straw was him, after everything he did, was him cheating and leaving to cheat on me. And then him taking that air out of my tire so I couldn't leave, because again, I wouldn't have called the cops. Even after he hit me, I wouldn't have called the cops, because I would have made excuses for him. Oh, it's just because he's on the drugs. He's such a good person deep down inside, blah, 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 blah. I would have made excuses. Women, if you find yourself making excuses for men like this, stop. Because it is not okay. Never okay. It is never your fault for their actions. And if they are on drugs and they are behaving this way, it's only because they have it inside of them in the first place. It's there. The drugs just help bring it out. So, don't make excuses. Don't blame yourself. Don't try to protect your husband. Don't refrain from calling the cops. Get out. It is not going to get better. It is not worth putting yourself, and especially your children, through that. Period. He will never change. How long did I wait for him to change? 4 years, and it just got worse. Empty promises when you leave to get you back, right? And then within a couple of days, things are the same. God does not want you to put your children and yourself through that situation. That's not the type of marriage he designed. So if you don't believe in divorce, that's not what he designed for you. So let's say that you find yourself in a situation and you don't know what to do, or you don't know how to get out. Pray like there is no tomorrow. I had not prayed a lot. I had several times, and in fact, I had kind of given up on my faith because of everything I was going through. I thought God had abandoned me. I was like, he doesn't even care. He's not here. But that night when I prayed, and then that very next morning, he answered that prayer. Everything that I requested of him, he will do the same for you. Mothers have the most important job on the face of this planet, and God's going to make sure that you are safe to take care of your children. He would not ever want them in the hands of somebody like that. Mothers have the most important job. So pray like there's no tomorrow, and he will. If it's not the next day, not a week from now, he will. He will make the way out. But you have to let him do it. You have to let him have control. Because that's the only way it finally happened for me. Beforehand, I prayed for change him, change his no. And then I finally gave it up, and I said, I give up. I don't know what to do. You do it for me. And he did it for me that very next morning. And he will for you. So, that is my first video. And I have more to shoot because I have been it's been requested of me, but I don't want to keep you guys all day. I've already been talking long enough, and I know people have things to do. So, that is the first video of the last straw, the steps I took to get out, and how it happened. There it is. In my opinion, it was a miracle. It was an act of God, hands down, no questions asked. So, I will be shooting more videos just when I do it over things like how I have gotten reestablished. I mean, just different things, how I have stayed away, because there's a lot more to this story than I told you. Because even after I left him, I still had this mental battle saying, we got to work it out. We got to save our family. There's a lot more to this story than what I just told you. It is not over. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope in some way this helped somebody. That's my prayer, because I don't want to just put my garbage out there like for no reason. Like it's not for me to be like dramatic and to get sob stories, and no, it's to help somebody in some way. So I pray that this helps somebody. Okay? All right, you guys have a good day.